Well, you gotta like move over or something.
Does that work?
Yes. Oh my god, I look like a naked mole rat. It looks like I don't have any eyebrows.
Get a little closer. Sit more forward and now you'll have eyebrows. See?
Not that much more.
I think your eyebrows are beautiful. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Rise and Vape Show. Yeah, so we didn't have an episode last week, and I apologize. We've been in the middle of this move all month, and it has been
Chaos?
Chaos. Utter chaos. We want to give a shout out right off the bat to our patrons. They've kind of gotten some inside scoops as to what we've been going through, and they've gotten kind of a chance to see our move and stuff like that. So big shout out to our patrons.
Why we've been absent.
And why we've been a little infrequent here on YouTube. But come next month, we'll be way more back on track, I guess, except for the last weekend of August.
Yes.
We won't have a video up then, but not gonna have a video up this next weekend as well. So this next week and then the last week of August, there won't be a Rise and Vape show. There's just a lot going on right now, but other than that, we will have episodes coming out. So thank you for sticking around with us, first and foremost. Yeah, I wanted to start with some smoke-free shout-outs just because we haven't done any in a while, and I've got a couple off of Twitter, two specifically that I want to give some shout-outs to. So roll that beautiful bean footage. Alright, so first off, these are both off of Twitter. Darcia McKenzie, at Darcia1. She is 5 years smoke-free after smoking for 40 years.
That's amazing.
40 years of smoking.
That's amazing.
5 years smoke-free right now, thanks to vapor products. Congrats, Darcia McKenzie, congrats to you. That is phenomenal. I love stories just like this. Like, I love all quit smoking stories. All of them are phenomenal stories, but I really like the ones where I hear somebody's been smoking for like 40 years, 55 years of smoking, and they made it, and they switched. That's just cool as shit to me. That is just, wow, it's
Great
cool
job.
as shit to me. But not to put any less value into our next shout out, Nicole Henshaw. She's over a year smoke-free right now. I don't know how long she smoked for. It wasn't in her tweet. You guys saw the tweets at the beginning of this, but she's learning to DIY. She said just in case she's learning to DIY
so cool.
right now. So
so cool.
Nicole Henshaw, congratulations on being over a year smoke-free, and good for you for being prepared and learning to DIY. I think that's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully it doesn't have to come to that, but that's going to, I guess, segue into our news and advocacy. Roll that beautiful bean footage. So, the PMTA process, the pre-market tobacco application process, if you're not aware with the PMTA process right now in the world of vaping, you are 100% living under a rock. The PMTA process, this industry has gone through loops and everything. It's been a roller coaster around the PMTA process. It was extended back in 2016, up to 2018, and then it was extended again to 2022, and then it was brought back to 2021, and then a few months ago, Judge Grimm basically filed a lawsuit or an order against the FDA in order to shorten that even more. According to Azim Chowdhury on Twitter, the district court issued its final decision in the AAP versus FDA case, and PMAT. Way too many just like acronyms and letters here. PMTAs for 8816 products are due in 10 months with a 1-year marketing sunset period from the application date. Basically, if you've gotten your application in, you have 1 year grace period for your markets to remain on the market if you've submitted your PMTA. FDA Tobacco has direct discretion to exempt products for good cause on a case-by-case basis. That's really unclear what that means yet. But then the American Vaping Association had this to say. Shout out to Greg Connolly. We are calling on the Justice Department to appeal this ruling immediately. As the FDA laid out in the remedy brief, Judge Grimm has no right to order the FDA to follow a particular deadline. This sets a dangerous precedent and will shut down businesses. Yes, basically that dangerous precedent is the fact that if the FDA and the Department of Justice don't appeal this, they would basically be handing over powers to the judicial branch. And if you're not familiar with the way that checks and balances in our country work between the legislative branch, the judicial branch, and the executive branch, this is a direct violation of how that process is supposed to work. So we're really encouraging the Department of Justice and the FDA to appeal this because, again, otherwise they would be handing those powers over to the judicial branch, meaning that judges at any point in time, anywhere, could just file these lawsuits or file these orders and force FDA and force the Department of Justice to do their bidding, essentially. So yes, we are definitely for the first time I think in my life rooting for the Department of Justice, which to me is usually the Department of Injustice, but in this case, yeah, we kind of need them to pull through and grow a backbone and say, no, this is our job, not yours. So hopefully that happens. From what I understand, they still have about a month and a half or so to appeal. It's probably going to come right down to the deadline. If they are going to appeal it, we'll probably hear about it next month. I don't foresee us hearing about it this month or in the next few weeks. There's a lot that goes into this stuff, and people are getting really impatient, so I know I am, but we just have to be patient. We have to, there's not much that a lot of us can do when it comes to stuff like this. You know, this is between the Department of Justice, between the FDA, between Judge Grimm and the district court, so we're all just kind of sitting here in limbo.
In limbo.
In limbo.
Get it?
Limbo!
It's a joke.
So if you do want to get involved, if you're currently not involved, there's a number of great ways to do so. Please get out there and join CASAA. It's free. I talk about it in just about every one of my videos, so I'm going to keep it short and sweet. And I'll have a link down in the description below. It's an advocacy organization. It's free to join. You can get calls to action. You can get their newsletters. You can get all the up-to-date stuff that you need on what's going on, what's happening.
What's happening?
What's happening in your local area, so that way you can be more involved as well. And I encourage everybody, you know, it's free. You can click the boxes if you don't want the newsletters. You can click the boxes if you don't want to be overly involved, or if you're somebody that doesn't have the time. Just signing up and adding you to the number of people who are members of CASAA, that counts too. That matters. So just join. Like, just join. Otherwise, get on Twitter, get involved on Twitter. In my past couple of videos, I've been posting links to, not necessarily links, but handles to people to follow. I'm going to continually update that list. If you want to get involved on Twitter, it's a great place. It's a great place to share information, great source of information. So get on Twitter, and in the bottom of this video, you'll find a bunch of handles to people that I would encourage you to follow and to get involved with and engage with. It's about all I've got for news and advocacy this week. So yeah, being stuck in limbo sucks. Could you imagine if you were like mid-limbo under the bar and then you just had to wait?
Oh, 1 minute.
Yeah.
Just hold that.
That's the world of vaping right now. Just bent right over backwards and waiting. You know what I do want to do? Here's what I want to do. I want to give a big shout out to our Canadian friends up there in the north, Saddle Horse Blues. You guys are amazing. You guys are absolutely amazing. Saddle Horse Blues, these coils are awesome. These coils are fantastic. I've got a couple sets of their Aliens. I've got a couple of sets of their staggered fuse Claptons. Their fuse Claptons, just really, really great coils. Saddle Horse Blues. Check them out. Check them out at www.saddlehorseblues.com. They're up in Canada. They have great prices on coils. They have great prices on gear. I just picked up a Goon from a little while ago, a Goon 1.5. It's sitting here all disassembled.
Is it
and
.com or .ca?
It is .com, actually. I have their business card right here. Go, look at those. Look at that coil right there. Isn't that nice?
That's a beautiful coil.
Yeah, so check out saddlehorseblues.com. They're also members in our Discord. And I love talking to Shane. I love talking to him. Shane and Brandy are just amazing people. They're huge on Twitter. They're really big advocates. And it's just really great to see people that are involved in the industry that really care and really put their heart and soul into their products. So yeah, absolutely. I want to back those people. I think they're amazing. That's my little shout out today. I'm done shouting people out. I'd like to shout out my girlfriend Becky for just being beautiful and amazing. Let's do an e-liquid tasting.
I'm getting beans. I'm gonna find her. Oh, beans! There you are.
She's digging her out of our dresser. Yeah, sorry, our room is just in shambles right now. Again, we're in the middle of a move.
Oh my god. Roll that beautiful bean footage.
Bean footage! Alright. Our e-liquid tasting this week comes from a sample box that we got a little while ago. We haven't vaped this liquid yet. This is from a line called Full Metal Juice. The liquid is Brazen. It is a blue raz bubblegum.
I'm actually pretty excited for this.
Blue raz bubblegum. I don't think I'm gonna like this.
I like both, so.
I'm real touchy on blue raz, and I'm really not a fan of bubblegum. A lot of bubblegum in that. I think the thing says a hint of bubblegum. That fades into bubblegum.
Are you sure they didn't mean a pint of
You want
bubblegum?
knuckle text? Oh, you got beans?
I got the beautiful bean footage.
Okay.
Look at, she loves me right now.
We're gonna test this out on the top side. See, this is what happens. I'm gonna test this out on the top side with the recurve sitting on top. That OG recurve. Don't have a recurve dual. I'm honestly not very interested in it, to be fair.
There's so much cat hair. Got me off.
There you go, Brazen from Full Metal Juice. We're gonna do that thing. We're each gonna take a puff, take a quick little trial here, and then we'll sit back, we'll vape it, and put on some music for you guys.
Booblegoom. I'm just dancing.
Are you dancing already? You guys will have some tunes. So.
Oh, I thought we were already in that. It's like when a news anchor gets caught, like, talking.
Okay. Alright. Alright. Now it's time for music. Music, go. Alright, so here's, I think we're ready for our final thoughts, everybody, on Brazen from Full Metal Juice. I will say, I don't know how I feel about it saying high explosive on the side. I do want to say, though, I like the branding. I don't find it to be, like, childish or youth predominant, or whatever you want to say it. I like the branding. Yeah, youth. I don't know how I feel about the bullets and whatnot, but I think overall, I think the branding on this brand is fine. I'm gonna let you go first because you have a much more positive opinion of this liquid than I do.
I think I'm gonna give this a 3.5.
Okay.
Because I enjoyed the bubblegum. I just was telling Logan that if you get a piece of the double bubble, individually wrapped bubble gum, and you get like the blue raspberry flavor, and you've been chewing it for like a minute or two, and it starts to kind of
dulls.
It dulls a little bit.
And you're
That's
just
what
left
this
with,
tastes like.
Old gum in your mouth.
It's not like old gum. That's like
old gum.
It's, to me, that's not it, but I don't dislike it. I enjoy it. I do see this losing its, like, getting vapor's tongue with this quickly.
I don't find it overly sweet by any means.
I just feel like after a while I'm not going to taste anything.
Yeah.
But I'm going to give this a 3.5.
3.5 on you? Alright. I think Becky's description of this is spot on. It's very much like, gum you've been chewing for a while, and the flavor just kind of fades. There's just ever so slightly a touch of blue raz in this that comes through. It's very light. I'm iffy on blue raz flavors to begin with, but even me, out of this liquid, I would like a lot more blue raz in there. The description is that it's a blue raz that fades into bubblegum, and in my opinion, that description is so far from the truth. It is bubblegum first and foremost, and a little bit of blue raz, and to have just a tiny bit of blue raz in there and then be predominantly bubblegum. I'm not a bubblegum person by any means. I would much rather vape blue raz than bubblegum. I'm gonna give this liquid like a 1. Yes, I have
Yikes.
absolutely zero interest in this liquid. I don't find it delightful at all. I will say it's not sweet. It's not overly sweet. You know what? I'm gonna give it a 1.5 for that reason, because it's not overly sweet, which I gotta commend them for. They're not just pushing a bottle of sweetener out onto the shelves. So yeah, I'm gonna give it a 1.5 just because it's not overly sweet. Otherwise, the flavor profile to me is not good. It's not predominant. It doesn't hold up to the description by any means. It doesn't fade into bubblegum. It just is bubblegum with just a tiny touch of blue raz. I don't have any interest in it, and I do agree. I think that lightness and flavor in there is just gonna, if you were to vape it all day long or like 2 days straight, you wouldn't even be tasting it.
Yeah.
You know, it's just not there.
I just wish there was just a hint more of a punch of flavor, you know, like.
Yeah, like that you would really want that blue raz strong right on the inhale, and then
I'm big on very flavorful
right,
liquids.
and that's where I'm kind of giving it just a little bit more, because it's not overly sweet, but I definitely think the flavor of it's just not good to me. And again, flavors is subjective, taste is subjective, so
I like bubble gum. I love blue raspberry. Like, I don't think it's,
it just reminds me of, like,
but
again, if you've been chewing a piece of blue raz, like double bubble or hubba or whatever, and you've been chewing that same piece of gum for like an hour, that taste, it just tastes like I want to spit it out. There you go. Sorry, Full Metal Juice. I'm not a fan, but you got a pretty decent score from Beck. If you're in the market for a bubblegum that's just barely blue raz but claims to be, then this is a liquid that you're going to want to check out. So 3.5 from Becky and a 1.5 from me, because I'm old and curmudgeon-y and I don't like bubblegum.
he likes black
vapes.
licorice and like.
I don't like black licorice, but I definitely, I'm not a big bubblegum guy, even like to eat, to have
that's
bubble
true.
gum. Like, I don't mind like minty gum,
Right.
you know, something like
But
that.
you're not like a bubblegum guy.
But I'm not a bubblegum guy. I never have been, and I never will be, and in a vape, it's even more so, because I can't even chew this shit. It's doing nothing for my jaw muscles here. Yeah, I want to, again, just apologize that we haven't been around nearly as much as we normally are every week. It's been a lot this month. It's been really crazy. But I guess for the first time here on YouTube, I don't know if we talked about it 2 weeks ago or not, but thank you to our patrons. They are definitely helping along with our next project come September. And Becky, you're going to be doing a podcast. We're going to be starting the Rise and Vape podcast. You'll be able to find us on SoundCloud. You'll be able to find us on iTunes, all that good stuff. We're going to try to keep it to about an hour an episode. I think it's pretty cool.
We'll be touching on a bunch of different topics that I'm interested in, that he's interested in, things that we're both interested in. So you'll get to kind of like know us a little better, and it's going to be a fun time. So.
And just like here on YouTube, we will always start with news and advocacy and those things first and foremost because they are the most important part. And then from there, we'll dive into some different topics. And hopefully through that, you guys will get to know our opinions a little better on just other things. Just things that we enjoy, things that we're into, other hobbies that we have, other interests other than just blowing fat clouds. Yeah. For whoever likes to blow fat clouds, or that vape god guy who has all the drippy swag. I don't know if anybody saw that, but good job to the Reaper and everybody over there, and him just calling those guys out, calling out Barstool. Yeah, we're really excited about the podcast. Just super stoked. If you have any interest in becoming a patron of ours, of the Rise and Vape Show, in general, you can check it out at patreon.com/Logan Exhales. For $5 a month, $5 a month, you can help us and our podcast. Otherwise, if you want to check me out on Twitter or Instagram, it's just at Logan_Exhales. And Beck?
I am at Lady Beckham's.
At Lady Beckham's. Yeah. And also, if you're not on social media and you just want to shoot me an email, that is more than welcome as well. It's just loganexhales@gmail.com. I think that's going to wrap this one up. Thank you, everybody, from the bottom of our heart and lungs. Get out there, stay involved, keep helping people.
There's a beans.
There's a beans in the background. And be excellent to each other, everybody. Till next time, keep on thinking, huh?